What's up, guys? It's Troy D. Welcome back to the channel, Troy D 24/7 Mall. On point reviews all day, every day. We've got a special one today. This is basically, rarely reviewed. I've only seen like 2 reviews out there, but a lot of questions about this one. Whether it's from the oud or exotic collecting world or just the casual collector that's like, man, what? Seriously? What is this all about? Who is this guy talking about? All right, but today's fragrance that we're going to review is Ensar Oud's Crime and Punishment. Ensar Oud's Crime and Punishment. And by the way, guys, you're gonna have to get used to this new setup, guys. Like I said, we're traveling, so this is a different setup than my usual tabletop. But nevertheless, we're going to bring the no hype reviews. This is a no hype review on Crime and Punishment. If you guys are ready to go, let's hit the music. All right, we're back, guys. Ensar Oud, Crime and Punishment. This one right here is basically at this point my third Ensar Oud. I had EO1, EO2, and this one. EO1 I really liked. EO2, not so much. And it's interesting that Ensar actually said that this EO2 was his best effort. I don't know. I really didn't like it. But Crime and Punishment is the third one that I've owned. Literally, I did a review on Tiger Lust a long time ago, but that was just a sample. This time we have a full bottle that we could spray over and over and test. And let me give you guys details on Crime and Punishment. Now, the thing about this fragrance is that this was a very controversial fragrance. I don't know the full story, but I do know that Ensar basically took shots at either a YouTube reviewer or another exotic perfume creator, which is either Arij Ledore or Bortnikov. I don't know. But I just remember when this came out, there was he wrote this long, essay about it. And, just remember, I don't know if Ensar is watching this, but there's a lot of people like me who are not part of the drama. We don't want to be part of the drama. And most likely we're not going to buy into the drama, and we're just going to buy into what the fragrance is about, okay? But anyways, the whole, prerequisite was all this drama, but then still the result was a fragrance, okay? And so about a month ago, I was able to acquire this. It was a full bottle that was split. This was split in our Instagram. This is the EDP version. So this one was the $300 something version, not the $800 version, because that would be too crazy. And this was split, and a lot of people actually came in and they were like, man, I want a piece of that thing. Now for me, when I got it, what I didn't want was for it to be like EO2, okay? I didn't have quite a nice experience with EO2. I mean, you can see I have no reviews of it, and I immediately sold or traded it. And I've heard people who have they did some blind buying, and they blind bought EO2 and they hated it. They would consider it the worst blind buy ever. It's not so bad. It's just, again, there are still many perfume fragrance lovers out there that aren't really heavy into the exotics, okay? And they just want to know. Now, this one right here, when I first sprayed it, it did have, this very, very exotic feel, okay? Which, I mean, you'll have it in many of the scents that are done by either Bort or Arij, ALD, or Ensar. Walima right here is one of my favorites. And although they're totally different, there's something about these oud / musk, real deer musk / exotic natural stuff that it gives them all the same vibe, you know? And this is something that I would say, especially Crime and Punishment, these are for the gents that are more on the artisan, style fragrances, okay? That are just, you're there to really enjoy sort of like the mixture of all these very, very exotic, um, um, ingredients, which are quite expensive, to be honest. Just by looking at this, like there's like 3 or 4 different ouds in this that are like basically $700 for 3 grams. Like, that's crazy, yo. Sumatran oud, Cambodian oud, $500 for 3 grams. Sri Lankan oud is 1,500 for 3 grams. It's a lot expensive ass oud in here, man. But you know, so that's something that I would say, like, if you are into that stuff and if you really want to just smell all these expensive ingredients in one, then boom, you're basically an Ensar Oud client. Now, this one right here, the Crime and Punishment, for me, is that for me it starts very peppery and musky. Okay, you feel this peppery start, manly start, then you've got this Siberian musk. That basically smells like animalic. It's a very spicy animalic smell. And then there is some, just a little bit of sweetness. I mean, I would say like a little bit of sweetness, but overall, the ouds, the frankincense sort of like take over. And I would say that, even if this thing has, raspberries and, orange blossom, you guys know, like, I own a lot of fragrances that have these, it stands out, raspberries and orange blossom. Well, here, guys, I wouldn't say they stand out. I mean, I would say that they contribute to the sweetness, slight sweetness, but at the end of the day, I think that the musk, the animalic nature of that musk, the ouds, and that peppery, spicy combination, I mean, that's really what creates Crime and Punishment, in my opinion. It's a very spicy, peppery, oudy, musky creation, and this is worth owning, I would say, as long as, like, you don't get redundancy. As always, I mean, I'll always say this, as long as you don't get redundancy. And the thing about makers like Ensar and Arij, you'll get breakdowns and you'll get reviews of what they're like, but really, ultimately, you're just blind buying. You know what I mean? You would really never know what, like a vintage Sumatran oud might be, or fossilized amber. Like, you would never really know that, especially a casual buyer. So basically, you are blind buying. So that's the way I'm gonna explain it, is that if you have something that's already spicy, musky, oudy, and woody, like I said, the sweetness, that raspberry that they talk about, it's not super like out there. Just remember that this thing also has frankincense. This thing has rose and other florals to kind of mask that, or either make it blended in as the total effect. But ultimately, guys, musky, peppery, oudy, and it's quite nice, man. I mean, I think this is sort of like a gentlemanly exotic, very manly exotic. I get different feels by like trying like Walima, for example. Walima is very like maybe joyous and bright, is what I feel. This one here is very like machismo, gritty. You could say almost dark, and I don't know if it matches the name, maybe, but I think that if you have nothing else and you just want to have this, then this covers a lot of ground. I feel like the positive note in here is the fact that it's not too out there, it's not too exotic. Anybody from a beginner to like a seasoned owner of these exotics can basically buy this and say, yeah, I have a solid like creation, that has all those exotic ingredients that are talked about or are truly, truly expensive or truly, truly hard to find. As a collector, this is a good one right here. And yeah, $300 is quite expensive, but really what you're paying for here is, the access to those ingredients, the access to those notes, the access to the blend, which I think is not bad. You know what I mean? Because I mean, unless you are like collecting what are on these houses like ALD, Bort, and Ensar like over and over, I have a feeling, okay, I'm not 100%, but I have a feeling that you will get some redundancy, okay? But for a guy like me who collects like all different fragrances, all the way to, from Duas to like Spirit of Dubai, I think that this is okay. This is okay, and I think that once, if you're like that person like me, that you're kind of at the middle ground and you own this thing right here, you won't be searching really for other stuff within this realm. I don't think you'll be looking for others because it really is a very gentlemanly artisan perfume that does the job, in my opinion. And I think a lot of guys that do like exotics will enjoy this. It's more than enough, 50 mil, right? And I split this a lot, and see, I still have some, right? And this will last me a while, okay? So that's it. That's my review on Ensar Oud Crime and Punishment. No hype, no fanboy, none of that. Just explaining to you guys what this smells like from, you could say, almost like a layman's perspective. Don't need to go deep on every single note, but this is quite nice, quite manly. No redundancy as long as you're not overdoing it on the exotics. Okay. All right. So that's it. This is Troy D again, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. All right. I appreciate all your subscriptions, and thanks to Ali who sold me this, by the way. And hopefully all those guys that joined the splits enjoy this as well. And by the way, if you want to join our splits, make sure you go to my Instagram, TroyD247Frag, because we split all these amazing perfumes for everybody to share. Make sure you guys join. You don't have to buy the whole bottle. All right. So until then, guys, this is Troy D. I'll see you guys soon. Take care and peace out.